Hello there. And how is the hangover? Well, why do I say that? That's because of the madness that we all witnessed last night. Of course, lots to talk about, and in this chat, we'll try to uh, touch base on a couple of these moments that are going to be talked about in the times to come. But very quickly, though, what really happened last night? Well, the situation was such that all four teams in the group had a chance. Japan, Costa Rica, Germany, Spain, all four had a chance. And given how the two matches were played out, at one point it appeared that Costa Rica and Japan would be going through at the expense of Germany and Spain. But a turn of events later on, and we saw in controversial circumstances Japan go through, Germany exit, and Spain also just managing to cling on to that spot, even though they now finish second in the group. Remember, there was a time that Spain too were needing a result from the other game, because had Germany not won, and in fact had Costa Rica gone on and beaten Germany, then it would have been Costa Rica that would have gone through. But what really happened, and is VAR really fulfilling its purpose? That's what we are here to talk about. On initial viewing, it of course appeared that the ball had crossed the line. There is a lot of photographic evidence on social media, lots of images to suggest that yes, the ball did indeed cross the line. And it was in that build-up play, that cross that was played in, where which is why that moment becomes very critical. But with all the technology, there's sensors in the ball, there's multiple cameras, there is the VAR, this assistant referees. With all of that, can that be acceptable? Well, many people calling it karmic justice as well, given that England, whatever had happened in 2012 with England also being on the receiving end, just as Germany are right now. So many calling it karmic justice. Because England had gone through under such controversial circumstances back then, but it is Germany now this time who've had to face something similar. Well, of course, that springs up the big debate as to why, where we are right now, where's the sport heading, and is it really justified to see such instances happen even in the 21st century? Well, the VAR, as contentious as VAR has been, yes, of course, the technology has eased out certain things. We've seen how fast it's become with regards to detecting offsides. But to say that, and if those images are anything to go by, yes, of course, we need to look into the situation, because it is indeed grave. That's one, and of course, at the biggest stage, you cannot afford to have such howlers, which is why this brings up a big topic as to what the road ahead should be, and is technology serving its purpose well. So we'll try and see, we'll see where things go. Of course, Germany now will have to um, bite bite this take a bite of this sandwich now, and they have nothing but to accept their fate. Yes, of course, they'll be kicking themselves. But Japan, though, what are Japan really doing here? They lost to Costa Rica, but they defeated Spain and Germany in their group. So splendid stuff there from Japan. One could argue, yes, of course, they managed to get through on a controversial goal. But having said that, it's that high tempo or to their game that probably took both Spain and Germany by surprise, and which is why we see them as the group toppers now with 6 points. Remember, Spain, in fact, it looked like in all probability they'll be finishing as the group toppers, but Spain finish in the second place on 4 points with draw in the first game, and then of course 3 points, no points for them in yesterday's game, a draw, and then a victory against Costa Rica, which is why we see Spain finish in the second place. But what else can we talk about this morning? Of course, this is the FIFA World Cup grabbing all the headlines, but let's now shift the focus to a little bit of cricket. Well, we're hearing that Phil Salt is not going to be available for the BBL. That's because He's had to undergo a long awaited surgery, as well as Mitch Marsh is going to be unavailable for the BBL. So both the key players are not going to be available for this edition of the Big Bash League. What else is happening in the world of cricket? Yes, of course, there is a bigger topic to be talked about as to what's really happening in Rawalpindi, and are England really changing cricket forever, or Test cricket as we know it. More than 500 runs being scored yesterday. They are on course. In fact, Harry Brook approaching the 150 mark. Four of the top, the four centurions, by the way, until yesterday, were in fact batting at a strike rate of more than 100, except one. So three out of four centurions batted at a strike rate of more than 100. That just goes on to tell you a lot about the brand of cricket that they're playing, and that's what the bigger topic here is. That is Test cricket changing the way as we know it, and is it really time for baseball? Can baseball, because one of the things that people were talking about is whether baseball will work in the subcontinent and in Asian conditions. But even though early days, we've not seen a lot of baseball in the subcontinent. But if Rawalpindi and this first Test match is anything to go by, then we really need to take a look as to where England is taking Test cricket. We've all seen what they've done in the limited overs format. They are, of course, the reigning T20 champions, as well as the defending world champions as well. But having said that, this is a new brand of Test cricket, and is this again going to be quote unquote a template for the world to follow? That we'll have to wait and watch. What else can we tell you from the world of cricket? Well, what we are getting to know is that there are 21 players who have registered at a base price of 2 crores for the upcoming IPL auction. Remember, there's a mini auction coming up in a couple of weeks' time, and we here at Sports Today will be bringing you all the live updates with regards to the mini auction, which will take place in Kochi. And there are a few notable players in the ranks when you talk about these 21 players who've registered themselves at the base price of 2 crore rupees. And the most noteworthy names would be that of Sam Curran. He, of course, will be a hot pick given his exploits, given the fact that he's now become a death bowler as well, a death bowling specialist rather for England, and particularly his exploits in the recently concluded World T20 make him a very, very hot property going into the auctions. Also, remember, there's going to be Ben Stokes as well, who's made himself available, and he too has thrown his hat in the ring. Other players to be looked out for, of course, will be the young Cameron Green. Remember, he impressed during that series in India. He really took on the Indian bowling attack and impressed everyone right up the order. Will he be looked at as an opener? Will he be looked at as somebody who can bat in the middle? We'll have to wait and watch what the teams have to how the teams look at Cameron Green. But he, of course, will be one of the hottest properties going into the IPL auction. Well, that's it. This morning that we could have possibly talked about. Let's just quickly see if there are any comments that we can take at this point. Yes, of course, very shocking as to what happened in the World Cup. Talking about football again, yes, Germany crashing out despite their thrilling 4-2 win. Remember, they were also under the cosh. They were trailing 2 goals to 1 at one point. But then Kai Havertz, the substitute, came on, scored in the 52nd minute, and turned things around for Germany, who then went on to score another goal and secure a 4-2 lead. But Germany will have to just swallow this bitter pill as of now, and there's nothing much that can be done. Yes, of course, the FIFA will have to look into what happened last night. The use of VAR again becomes questionable, and this clearly, with those images that we all saw, the images that are doing the rounds presently as we speak as well. Yes, of course, there needs to be some thinking, there needs to be some adjustments, and we probably need to go back and think as to where we're going wrong with the technology, and of course improvements should be in the offing. For now, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for tuning into Sports Today. My name is Harshat Ahuja, and in case you haven't already done so, please do like, share, and subscribe to Sports Today. We're there on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you so much.